Now, it's been reported that Toys R Us is weighing up possible bids for its UK business, which narrowly avoided going into full administration just before Christmas. The retailer has more than 3,000 staff in the UK and is already closing a number of stores, but now it looks like the remainder of the company could be sold. Its US parent is currently in bankruptcy protection and says that it is continuing to explore options, but is acting in the best interest of employees, business partners, shareholders and lenders. With us is Kate Hardcastle, retail expert from Insight with Passion. Morning, Kate.
Hi, good morning.
Thanks for joining us this morning. So what's the latest then that you understand with Toys R Us?
Well, there are turnarounds and turnaround plans being discussed, but it's very challenging and difficult to understand what the future of the business looks like. We're looking at a retailer that's antiquated in its approach, that has almost been saved as a moment in time in retail, which was big box and all about stacking it high and not necessarily selling it cheap. So it's hard to understand who the potential buyers may be. I mean, one of the rumoured were the organisation Hilco, who have been the ones that have bought H&B out of administration, but it can be only an appetite for a very small amount of stores and the brand and not very much else. The bigger concern, I think, is not just the change in retail, the move to online, the appetite of the consumer, but also that of its core audience. The fact that generally toys are dying off in the older ages as children progress into more tablet devices and applications as their chosen preferred, hobby and pastime.
Yeah, I mean, Toys R Us does have people do know the name, don't they? It's a strong brand, whether the company's been successful or not in the last few years. It's still a brand that people recognise. Is it possible that we could see something that's happened with other brands that have run into trouble, that someone will buy it, will get rid of the stores, but will make it an online-only offering?
And I think that's got to be the real option out of all of this, a brand equity element and perhaps any data that's owned by the brand. But really, anyone can replicate toy retail now, and we've seen that in supermarkets and we've seen that with the big brands online like Amazon.
Well, listening to what you've described Toys R Us, if I was a turnaround fund manager, I wouldn't be putting money into this business. Surely they've got to get it right before they go in there and commit themselves with extra funds.
I absolutely agree. I think it's a very challenging time in the whole retail marketplace, and one would maybe imagine that if anyone did want to buy up the brand, they might wait till the bitter end anyway.
I mean, is it possible, Kate? I mean, obviously, there's 3,000 people that work for this company, and our sympathies are with them. At this, this is a difficult time for them. What's the likelihood in terms of those employees? If, obviously, it depends on who buys the company, but what is the most likely scenario?
We can't absolutely ignore the fact that any of the retail brands that are having challenging times are really going to have a huge cause and effect for all of their employees, and that the retail market itself is evolving and changing, and those positions perhaps are in different environments, more warehousing and online administration roles perhaps. But again, I think it's got to be about the change in marketplace. We've seen brands like Amazon have huge drive in terms of their success, and that's got to be at some cost because we're not any richer.
OK, Kate, many thanks for joining us this morning. We'll have to leave it there. That's Kate Hardcastle there, retail expert from Insight with Passion.